Hey y'all, it's Andrew from MAO Magic, and I'm here with the new line of Mophie PowerStations. Now, there's a whole lineup here of new power stations, ranging from the tiny or smaller versions that'll give you about a full charge on your phone, to the bigger ones that'll give you about 8 times charge on your new phone, or about 2 or so on your tablet. So I have the 5X power station here, and the 5X and the 8X have a couple really cool features that we're going to get into. If you're interested in any of the new PowerStation line, the link will be in the description below. So we're going to go ahead and open this up, and inside, now we do have a bigger one, so don't be afraid at the fact that this looks rather large here, but just like the rest of the lineup, it is now encased all in aluminum, which is very, very nice looking. On the left-hand side of the box here, you'll have simply some instructions and a micro USB cable. So this will charge with micro USB. So nothing too fancy out there. You should have plenty of those cables lying around. So here we actually have the battery pack itself. So this is the 5X power station, which means you should get 5 full charges for your smartphone or your mobile speaker. It will obviously charge iPads and even charges those at a very high speed. As far as size goes, we have the Mophie PowerStation 5X here, and we have the iPhone 6s Plus right next to it, as well as the iPad Air 2. So you can get some kind of general idea of where this is going to fall in your gadget lineup as far as size goes. As far as capacity, this is 10,410 milliamp hours. As I said, this model here will give you about 5 charges on your phone, and it'll give you about 1.25 on a large tablet, 1.5 on a small tablet. On the side, we have our power gauge, so we can see what percentage is roughly about to each 25%. So each of those 4 little dots will give you an idea on power. On the end, you have 2, so dual USB ports for charging other devices. The one that is highlighted in green here, this is actually the quick charge port. So if you have something plugged into there, say like a tablet, it can charge up to 15 watts compared to the other port, which is going to be a standard 12 watts of power. In the center, you have the micro USB port for charging the battery itself. Now, as far as build quality goes, it is obviously very high. The button here on the side is unfortunately plastic, but otherwise it's all aluminum. There's a seam that goes around here where the 2 parts are fused together, but really there's no problem with it. And there was no problem with like the last build quality either on the the older power stations. They were still very nice, very high-end battery packs, but this new one it looks really nice. As far as like aesthetics go for a battery pack, this is definitely up there. Thickness wise, it's about as thick as my iPhone 6s Plus with a case on it. So it's not horribly thick, easily be able to slide in anywhere that you're toting around a laptop or an iPad. I particularly like taking this for my camera, being able to charge my Sony Alpha 6000 or even my Nikon if need be. Now, this one does have dual USB ports, but not all of them do, so the lower-end models will just have one. So if you're looking to charge both your tablet and your phone simultaneously, then you're going to need to get one of the larger power stations. If we look at one of the older models here, so this is one of the Mophie, I think, Pro power station they used to have. It works fine. It's great. It's similar in capacity. It's actually slightly smaller than this model here, but it actually weighs a little bit more, which is kind of funny. So the new one is thinner, looks a lot better, and it's even lighter than the old one, even though the new one has a little bit more capacity. Granted, you are going to sacrifice some of that portability. This one, the old generation there, I could probably toss that in a pocket. The new one, at least these high-end models like the 5X and the 8X, that's probably not going to be something that's going to happen that often. Now, if we want to compare this to even bigger battery, we have the HyperJuice here. This is the HyperJuice 2. Now, this is going to be somewhere along the lines of, I think, 100 watt hours. So this is much bigger, or milliamp hours. This is a much bigger battery. However, this big one, not only does it have dual USB ports, and it has an e-ink screen on the front. Well, not e-ink, but it has a little screen on the front of it giving you some of those battery specs. This will actually charge a laptop. So I could charge my MacBook at the same time I'm charging my phone or my iPad. But there's obviously a huge difference in size here. Even just like the actual surface area here, it's a lot thicker, it's a lot heavier. You're gonna have to take around like these proprietary type cables if you're gonna charge like a MacBook on here using MagSafe. But they're different things. If you're charging a laptop and you're not using like a MacBook with like the USB Type-C, then the HyperJuice is a great option for charging your phone, your tablets, cameras, music speakers, and your laptop. However, it is a lot bigger, and it's also more than double the price of these tiny little Mophies. So it really depends on what you're looking for. If you want anything to do a laptop, you're going to need something like these HyperJuice batteries. If you want something really sweet, portable, tiny, thin, you're going to look at any of these new Mophie power stations. Now, if you want to see the new fanciest feature on the 5X and 8X power stations, you actually have to download the app, the Mophie Power app from the App Store. And this actually will connect to your battery via Bluetooth and give you alerts and statuses of how your battery and how your devices are doing. So if we go ahead and install this, it'll give you a little bit of a walkthrough, tell you which power station it'll work with. So the 5X and 8X are the only two that have Bluetooth built in. You go ahead and hold that button for 4 seconds to turn on pairing. It'll show up. You can then register your device here by entering information and then go ahead and confirm. Now you can see I have my phone's battery status here on the top, as well as my actual Mophie power station status here on the bottom. It tells me how fast it's charging and how fast it's going out. I can set customized alerts, so turning on and off. So I want to say maybe 10%. So I'm going to go ahead and say, oh no, it's low is my alert. And I'm going to set the battery percentage at 10%. Whenever my battery reaches 10% on my Mophie power station, it's going to send me an alert saying, hey, your battery's almost dead. We can even do firmware updates to the application here, so it'll better optimize the battery and maybe add even new features in the future. Now, while it is a little bit unnecessary to see like the charging speeds on your battery pack here, it is really useful for your phone. So I can see actually how far my phone is charged and how many minutes until it be completely charged. So I find those, a couple things in it, really, really useful. Now we go ahead and break down between the pros and the cons for the new Mophie power stations. We're going to highlight particularly the 5X and 8X, but this will apply to the entire lineup of Mophie power stations. So for the pro side of the equation, it has that all new aluminum body. The entire lineup features those great new constructions compared to the last generation. There are many different configurations, so there are different entry-level models all the way up to those 5X and 8X options. They're going to give you a ton of power for your phone or tablet. Those Bluetooth capabilities on the 5X and 8X model is really handy and a feature that isn't really seen in many other battery packs. And it has rapid charge, not only for the power station itself, which can charge up to 15 watts, but that one USB port can charge out at up to 15 watts. So that's going to be really great for tablets that can actually take that higher speed, or certain other Android phones that can charge at those higher speeds. On the con side, especially on those bigger models, they get really large, and it's hard to fit those in a pocket. So I know they're keeping with that design of like thin, but you can't put in your pocket, even though the old generation you kind of could. There is no MacBook charging, so these get very large here, and yet you cannot use them to charge a MacBook or anything with like type USB-C. The app features are still fairly limited. I want to see a little bit more in there. I want to see maybe other devices that are plugged in instead of just the one that you're looking at the application on. And I wish you could see the health information inside of that app. So maybe how many cycles has my battery used? What is the health of my battery? How long is it expected? Was it good quality, bad quality? How is the life of my battery being affected at the moment? Now, if you are interested in the new power station, the link is in the description below. Please, please, please subscribe so I can keep these videos coming into the future. If you have any questions at all on any of this power station line, make sure to throw them up in the comments, and I will be sure to get back to you right away. Other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.